Mortal Kombat 1 changes that need to happen. That's right, we're jumping right into it. Even though I love playing this game very much, certain gameplay aspects need fixing. If you agree with any of my changes, then make sure to like and share this video on social media so that maybe somebody at NetherRealm sees it. And also, if you have any great ideas on how to fix Mortal Kombat 1, make sure to comment down below. And without any further ado, let's begin. First up, when's the last time you saw somebody do this? Yeah, probably never, right? And that's because it's too expensive. It costs 2 bars to get this follow-up, and as a result you just never see it because a cameo character gives you the extension just fine. There's no reason to spend the bars, and even if your cameo character is gone for some reason, you're not going to waste the 2 bars because that gives up combo breaker. You don't want to lose 2 bars, and as a result you never see the uppercut follow-up in gameplay, and I think that's a shame because it's an interesting new idea that I want to see at casual level and high levels of play. Listen, if I know the opponent's gonna jump, there's so many better options than spending 2 bars after an uppercut. I can do an up block, I can go for an air-to-air, I can try to dash under. There's a bunch of options that are way better than blowing 2 bars, which is why I think it should be 1 bar instead of 2. That might be a bit overpowered, but I don't care. I think it's time for a test drive, okay? If it ends up being too overpowered, then just nerf it in an update. Or you could reduce the combo damage. That's also an option, but baby steps, okay? Let's start by reducing the meter. Only 1 bar to get the meter burn uppercut follow-up. Once again, nobody is ever using this gameplay option. Now, to be fair, a lot of players might not even know it exists because they skip tutorial, but even if you do know about this follow-up, you're likely still not using it because it costs 2 bars. So that's the first big change I want to see in Mortal Kombat 1. Have the uppercut meter burn only cost 1 bar instead of 2, that way we actually start seeing it during gameplay. Next up, let's talk about online matches, specifically Kombat League. When you lose a ranked match in Mortal Kombat 1, you are not allowed to change your character. Instead, you're only allowed to change your cameo fighter, which I think was great when the game first came out because it encouraged players to experiment with the other cameo fighters. However, at this point, I think enough time has passed and everybody's had time to experiment with the different cameo fighters, which is why I think NetherRealm should let us change the main character if we want to. But keep in mind, it's not just Mortal Kombat 1 that does this. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 also lock you into your character. And I don't necessarily think that's a big issue, but at the same time, when you're playing at tournaments, you're allowed to change your character when you lose. And that's because when playing a fighting game, it's about who's the better player, not just who's better with that one specific character. And as a result, I also think you should have the option to change characters online, but only after losing a match. However, as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think players should have the option to change their character after losing, or should they be locked in? Because on the one hand, I do understand that matches are faster when you aren't allowed to change your character. Nobody wants to have their time wasted while the opponent takes all day to pick their character. I understand that, but at the same time, I think there's easy ways to fix that problem, like only giving the opponent 10 seconds to pick their new character, or 15 seconds, you get the idea, not very much time, because that way they can't make you wait all day. Or maybe, how about this, allow the player to pick their backup character before they go into a ranked match at all. So for example, you pick your main character and your cameo character, but also your backup character and their cameo partner as well if you lose and want to change your character. The reality is, every fighting game has that weird matchup that is really tough to win, and as a result, I think the player should be allowed to switch if they lose. Okay, next up, I just have to ask, where is online practice mode? I feel like that's the one core gameplay mode that's missing at this point, along with the open lobbies. Plus, it keeps taunting me. Look at it, right there on screen, but grayed out and unable to be clicked. I want to teach my friends and channel members some cool tricks in Mortal Kombat 1, but I can't because online practice mode is still not in the game. Maybe it's not a big deal to many of you watching, and I understand that, but I love practice mode so much, and I want to be able to do it online. So that's the next change that needs to happen. Put online practice mode in the game. I want it. It's pretty much a standard in every fighting game at this point. So next up, let's talk about a very big change that everybody has been asking for, custom loadouts for your character's appearance. Maybe not for ranked matches because it's not that big of a deal. Nobody's trying to flex their fit in a ranked match most of the time, and I understand that. However, when it comes to casual matches or private matches, why can't I have multiple appearances for my character saved and ready to go? Mortal Kombat 11 had this, and I think it's awesome. Now, to be fair, in that game, it was also for a gameplay function and not just your character's fashion, but at the same time, I mainly did it for the character's fashion, because let's be real, most people picked one variation and kept using it over and over again, but when it came to the different outfits, that's when you wanted to mix and match. And as of right now, the only way to change your character's look is to leave the mode, go all the way back to the main menu, then go to customize, then change your character, and finally go back into the private lobby or the ranked matches. You get the idea. It's a ridiculous process, and that's why so many players are requesting a way to have multiple options for their character's appearance that you can change without having to go all the way back to the main menu. Once again, Mortal Kombat 11 did this perfectly, and I think Mortal Kombat 1 should have the exact same feature and implement it in the exact same way. It was perfect. I understand this change might not be a big deal for the hyper-competitive players, but when it comes to most of the core audience, we would love this feature to be in the game. Okay, so next up, I just have a fun idea. I don't think this change needs to happen, but I do think it would be a pretty good change for Mortal Kombat 1. You know how some cameo characters like Jax give you more health to your main character, and then other characters like Movado actually take away from your health because their attacks are so good? Well, I think that idea should be extended to the fatal blows. That's right, I think depending on your cameo partner, your fatal blow should do more damage or a bit less damage. Because think about it, some cameo characters are not being picked at all in Mortal Kombat 1, especially not online. And I think a very easy way to fix that would be to buff the fatal blow damage when you pick those characters. And not by a very big amount, but a big enough change to warrant picking that cameo when you otherwise would not want to. Like take Frost for example. Almost nobody is picking Frost as their cameo character, but now imagine if she made your fatal blow do 10% more damage. Or maybe 8% damage if 10% is too much, but you get the idea. We need more incentives to play these cameo characters, and I think a very easy solution would be to change the fatal blow values. And honestly, you could also do this for the main characters too if their fatal blow is really bad, like Kitana's. Her fatal blow is so absurdly slow and misses all the time. Even during combos, if you're not careful, you can drop this fatal blow because it's so slow. So I'm thinking, why not just buff the damage to compensate, right? I think right now every character does the same fatal blow damage, and that would be fine if the fatal blows were all similar, but they're just not. Some fatal blows have really good range or are really fast, and yet they all do the same damage, and that makes them feel a little bit unbalanced in my opinion. So once again, I'm just saying, if a character's fatal blow is really slow, or just has really bad range, or has no mix-ups, maybe buff the damage a little bit to make that fatal blow a bit better in some regards. But once again, these two changes are just fun ideas. I don't think MK1 needs these fixes right now, but I think they could make the game a bit more fun and add some variety and spice into the game. And there you have it everyone, all the changes that I think would be great for Mortal Kombat 1. Once again, I love this game, it's a ton of fun to play, but of course there's always room for improvement. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdog.